out of the things and the people who he has done things to has been calculated. It's just, I don't think it's not spur of the moment things. It ain't reactionary things. It's people, and I said it's just people who he hasn't hit someone or did something to someone, and someone's instant reaction is the next step, right? Everybody complains, everybody looks for the refs to break things up, and he hasn't done anything to someone, and there's been a reaction where, like, oh shit, it hasn't been that reaction.
Never quite reached the pinnacle of that when you talk defensive player of the years, or 9 all defensive teams that I had, that I have, and he has 0. It's tough to sit in a space of like continuing to speak on my name and call my name out as if I underachieved or am underachieving, when I was just simply the 35th pick in the NBA draft and somebody took a swing on it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sports Culture, all things sports. It's Jay Banfo, and we got to talk about Draymond Green and Kenyon Martin. But before we get into that, like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for your support. So, Kenyon Martin and Draymond Green have been going back and forth in a war of words these past couple days. It all started 3 days ago when Kenyon Martin clarified previous comments he made about Draymond Green. On the podcast Gil's Arena, Kenyon expressed how he feels Draymond is calculated when he goes after an opponent during the basketball game. He says he's not an enforcer like Charles Oakley, Udonis Haslem, Rick Mahorn, and Zebo. When discussing Draymond, Kenyon remained calm and respectful by acknowledging that he's a good player who has won 4 championships. Now, if you ever watched Kenyon Martin play back in his day, it's no question that he is like that. He was the type of player that didn't take any BS from anybody, whether you're big or small, a superstar or a bench player. It just didn't matter. You don't mess with Kenyon Martin. So he's more than qualified to speak on this issue. Now, I tend to agree with Kenyon when he's talking about Draymond. Look at the players Draymond has had issues with on the basketball court. You got Rudy Gobert, Domantas Sabonis, and even ex-teammate Jordan Poole. Now, I'm not knocking those players, but we know those aren't the rough and rowdy type players. Now, specifically, look at it when he's got into it with Ron Artest, a.k.a. Metta World Peace, and Isaiah Stewart. That energy was extremely tame. That's Kenyon Martin's point, and in my eyes, everything he said was factual. So Draymond responded to Kenyon on his own podcast, and to be fair, he spoke in a calm manner as well. However, what disappointed me about his response was that he never addressed what Kenyon had to say about him. He started talking about they both from Saginaw, Michigan, and Serena Williams was born there, and that Kenyon was an underachiever as a number 1 overall pick. He started talking about he's a champion and Kenyon was only able to sniff it. Like, honestly, it was just all over the place, a bunch of mumbo jumbo word salad. Like, it was too much going on. So he never really addressed Kenyon's main point. Draymond picks and chooses his battles. That convo was never about who's a better basketball player and accolades. Draymond just missed the entire point, or he chose to miss the entire point on purpose because he knows Kenyon is right. Now, Kenyon responded to Draymond, and I'm not going to lie, it was kind of funny. Towards the end of the response, he trolled and named power forwards that were better than Draymond. Now, when he said Papa Jones and Reggie Evans were better, I damn near lost my mind. I haven't heard those names in years, and yeah, Kenyon was clearly trolling. So, Kenyon defending himself and his career, he had every right to do that. Kenyon had way more responsibilities as a player more than Draymond. Nobody ever looked to Draymond to score, so it's even hard to compare those two type of players because skill-wise, we know that Kenyon Martin is way better than Draymond. Now, if I can be completely honest, I'm not really a fan of either one of them as a person or a player. Draymond is an asshole who talks way too much. And Kenyon is entirely too old to be acting and talking like he did when he was playing back in the day. But if I had to pick a winner in this hilarious back and forth, I will have to go with Kenyon Martin. Now, with that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.